Come on in, everybody. It's time for the Southern Route. So what's the Southern Route all about? Well, it's about Southern stuff. Southern people, Southern music, Southern food, Southern nights, Southern traditions, nostalgia, and so much more. Welcome back to the Southern Route. I am your host, Shannon Courier, and I'm super excited to share a very special interview with you this week. For those of you that listen, you might know that I am also the Director of Philanthropy with the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund, and you might know that we have a benefit concert coming up this weekend, April 22nd. That is Saturday evening in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Cotton-Eyed Joe. This is to celebrate 15 years of hope provided through the St. Christopher Fund to professional truck drivers, as well as celebrate our founder, Dr. John McElligott, and all that he has provided to drivers over these last 15 years. We are having a concert that is going to have a couple of artists there. Lindsay Lawler, some of you may know, very ingrained in the trucking industry, has been for a long time. She sings the song Highway Angel, is also involved in a lot of things in the industry, as well as our headliner, Levi Hummon. And Levi Hummon is our headliner for this concert, and I'm super excited about that. And he recently did an interview with one of our other TNC radio hosts, Shelly Johnson. She is the host, of course, of the Truckers Network radio show that runs every weekday morning. And she also follows me tonight on Tuesday evenings also with Women Road Warriors. So she has a lot going on, but she just did an interview with Levi. It is fantastic, and I appreciate her taking the time and TNC Radio taking the time to support St. Christopher Fund. So tonight I wanted to share her interview with Levi Hummon and give you some insight into the headlining artists that we have for our Highway to Hope concert, April 22nd in Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's jump right to it.
Welcome to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live, where we offer the news, weather, traffic, sports, information, and entertainment our commercial drivers want to hear. I'm your host, Shelly Johnson. Speaking of entertainment, country singer-songwriter Levi Hummon is a rising star on the country music scene. He's the son of Marcus Hummon, one of Nashville's most prolific Grammy Award-winning songwriters, who's written for the Dixie Chicks, Tim McGraw, and Rascal Flatts, just to name a few. Levi grew up around the studios of Nashville, but didn't take up the musical torch until he was in his 20s. Levi has his own distinct style and believes in taking risks and finding his voice in music. It's paying off. In just 5 years, he released 30 songs, which got 160 million streams. He was named by Rolling Stone Country as one to watch. He's built a solid fan base with his tremendous songwriting skills and relatable stories of love and loss. Levi is going to headline the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund Highway to Hope benefit concert this month. Levi's music and his commitment to pay it forward are nothing short of fantastic. His music's dynamic, like this song called Paying For It.
Drinks. We never split one bill. I ain't made it green, but I made it rain on your field. Never saw one penny roll out your purse the whole time we were hooking up. When you said goodbye, I figured I'd be a little bit richer, but I'm still paying for it out the credit card. Running out of tears, running out of gas at the ATM, and it hit me bad with a transaction denied, baby. Why you got me locked outside, baby? I ain't even got a little jangle. I don't like being broke and single. Girl, you costing me all kind of things money can't buy. Gotta do that, baby. Yeah, I should've known what I had before I let it go. Yeah, just like my last dime. I'm still paying for it out the damn wazoo. Like you still on my tab, girl, cause I'm drinking for two. Dropping all my quarters on them sad, sad songs. And that cab ain't half price, even though I'm riding alone. Been just a piggy bank, you broke my heart, is they keep breaking too. I'm still paying for it. Yeah, I'm still paying for it. Hey, Levi, we got Wazoo in a song, bro. How about that?
What a great song. Paying for it. Levi Hummon collaborated with Walker Hayes on this particular song. It went viral, and it cemented Levi's status as a rising country star. I can't wait to talk to him. Levi's with me today to talk about his latest success on the country music scene. Welcome, Levi. Thank you so much for being on my show today.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You know, I am so impressed with you. Your background is so unique. You have a family tradition steeped in country music. Your dad, Marcus Hummon, was one of Nashville's most prolific Grammy award-winning songwriters, writing for the Dixie Chicks, Tim McGraw, and Rascal Flatts, just to name a few. That had to have been so inspiring growing up around that influence.
Yes, I grew up in a musical family. My dad's a songwriter, and then my mom's a preacher here in Nashville. And yeah, every morning I'd wake up to my dad's foot stomping on the ground for his piano, and that would be my alarm clock for getting ready for school. And I would come home from school and high school and middle school and everything with different artists in my parents' living room, and getting to be around that was just really inspiring. But yeah, I mean, it's really unique having been one of the few artists that's actually grown up in the Nashville area, and we literally lived a block away from Music Row growing up. So I was definitely ingrained in the culture, in the songwriting culture, but I never really pursued it until about 22 years old. So it's kind of in my DNA, I think.
Oh, sure. What a marvelous opportunity. When did you actually begin playing and writing songs?
Wow. There was always guitars around the house, and my dad always encouraged me and my two brothers to be musical. And so songwriting for me was a hobby. It was something I pursued really not professionally, but just for fun and to kind of as therapy a lot of times when I was going through something. But in sophomore year of college, I started really writing songs and kind of writing commercial songs. And I was in school in Florida and sending them back to my dad in Nashville and just asking, what do I do with this? And he was like, well, you're from Nashville. And he's like, why don't you just move back home? And so I moved back home and pursued it, and eventually got a publishing deal and a record deal, and the rest is history.
Oh, that's so very cool. Now, was country music always what you liked, or did you dabble in any other genres?
I always grew up around country music, and I loved country music. I mean, to this day, all sorts of country music is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of consider country music to be my dad's thing in a lot of ways. And so, just growing up around it, it was like, it was cool, but it was also like the whole thing was like, I don't, rebellious. I don't want to be like my dad, like whatever. And of course
Sure.
now I'm literally doing the exact same thing. But I grew up listening to all sorts of music. And for the longest time I was, a skateboarder. And so I loved kind of, like the Clash and Ramones and kind of punk music and scene music, and then kind of worked my way into EDM and pop music. And then no matter what, though, I would grab my guitar and it would be a country song. Like I would write a rock or flat song or whatever. And so it was always just like, it was just second nature.
Isn't that funny? So even though you listen to other music, when you actually performed, that's what came out of you.
Yeah. And, now growing up and kind of finding my own sound, it's kind of a mesh of everything that I used to love and listen to. Um, and so I think those influences in those days, listening to music that wasn't country music, really inspired me to be who I am today. And you can hear it in my songs. Like it's definitely not traditional country music, but it's something kind of unique in itself. And yeah.
How would you describe your music? I was reading that it's kind of like a 90s country comeback and an early 2000s alternative rock revival. Well, how do you describe your music?
I I don't even know anymore, honestly. I I I'm a songwriter first, and so um, I'm like really passionate about songwriting, and that's what I love to do, and that's what brings me the most joy is sitting with my guitar and writing a song, and both writing for me and other artists as well. And it's really hard to write the same kind of formulaic song over and over again for me, and I feel like I constantly have to experiment in order to stay inspired and creative. And so everything is constantly a experiment in the songwriting world.
Hmm.
But I think what makes my music kind of what it is it's a country song probably in the lyrical content and the fact that most of them are stories about either heartbreak, drinking, falling in love, whatever. But my influence is definitely comes from everything from Dolly Parton to Tupac. But I like to say my stuff is like if Weezer and country music and Goo Goo Dolls had a baby.
Okay. That's a good description.
That's what I'm gonna go with today. It
So
could change tomorrow.
so when you start writing music, do the lyrics come to you first or is it a melody? How do you put all that together?
Oh my gosh, it comes from all different sorts of places. Like I've had songs where I've started with the hook, and I've had songs that have started with the melody, the guitar part, whatever. I find inspiration from everywhere. Um, my dad has always told me though, when going into a writing session here in Nashville, to always come prepared with an idea, and so I always try to have something in my back pocket walking into these writing rooms.
Hmm. What are the writing rooms like? A lot of people probably are curious.
The writing rooms here in Nashville, that was like the first thing that I kind of got introduced to by my dad when I moved back from college. Because I'd always just written songs by myself or like thrown an idea at my dad and be like, what do you think about this? But never really collaborated. Um, but when I moved back to Nashville after Florida, it was it was really interesting to be thrown into the fire of the Nashville songwriting community and the collaboration that exists just on Music Row. And it's really special. I mean, you take a song that's pretty good that you've written by yourself and then get a couple more brains around it, and the spirit of the room always changes it and makes it something even more beautiful than you can imagine.
Oh, it's got to be magical.
It is. My dad, I know we're not on camera, so my dad always kind of taught me, he's like, songwriting doesn't come, it's not like it comes out of you, it comes into you. And it's not like, it's literally a spiritual experience. Even if you're writing a breakup song or a drinking song, it's like you'll just have lyrics that just pop into your brain that you like, where is this from?
Hmm.
Um, and being able to collaborate with other writers is just one of the more unique and really special parts about what makes Nashville so amazing.
And you're around such tremendous talent. That is an inspiration in just by itself. You've got to walk away going, "Wow, that was incredible."
It really is. And there's just every, like when you think you're the most talented person in your city or something like that, go to Nashville because it's just a plethora. It's so much talent is in the city, and you're just kind of doing your best to absorb it and keep up.
Sure.
But I've grown up in it, so I'm like it's like second nature to me. But it's a deep love for the community of especially songwriters.
Well, it certainly helps to have your dad who's been in the business, and you can always kind of maybe say, "Hey, Dad, what do you think of this?" You've got a sounding board, which is
Right.
really cool because I think a lot of people could be intimidated by all of that. I mean, talent, all that talent in one place, you know?
What's kind of been interesting in the development of me and my dad's relationship has become like not just a sounding board for me to him, but for him to me, as I've kind of like grown in my own stuff and had some success on my own. It's interesting now, like our relationship has changed where it's like he's like, is this cool? And I'm like, is this okay? And it's like
Uh-huh.
a very honest conversation that's kind of developed.
That's so cool. Levi, we want to learn more about how you evolved in your rise to the top of the charts, but we do have to go to break. This is the Truckers Network radio show. I'm Shelley Johnson, and I'm speaking with country singer-songwriter Levi Hummon. Stay tuned for more coming up. The Truckers Network helps professional drivers save money and makes their lives easier. We were created for drivers by a commercial driver. We know the industry and driver needs. A Truckers Network membership offers exclusive discounts through our trusted partners on things like truck care, truck parking, tires, oil changes, fuel additives, fitness, roadside assistance, first aid kits, driver training, and a whole lot more. Start saving today. Check us out at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. That's app.thetruckersnetwork.net. The trucking industry keeps America running thanks to the 3.36 million professional truck drivers who deliver everyday goods to 80% of American communities who rely on trucking for that last mile. The industry represents a diverse group with nearly half of drivers at 42% as minorities. Trucking Moves America Forward, or TMAF, educates the public on the essentiality of trucking by telling the story of trucking and its positive impact on our economy, communities, and lives. Learn how you can join the industry movement by visiting truckingmovesamerica.com. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson. I'm speaking with country singer-songwriter Levi Hummon, the son of the famed Marcus Hummon. Levi has had a stellar climb and is making waves on the country scene. He's also headlining for the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund Highway to Hope benefit concert this month at the Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville, Tennessee. Lindsay Lawler will also be performing. Levi has done some amazing things in just a few short years, and we've been talking about it. Levi, you have made some tremendous strides. I was reading in just 5 years. You released 30 songs. You've had 160 million streams of your work. Rolling Stone Country named you as one to watch. You were named one of Entertainment Weekly's 5 artists breaking now. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, the journey is just, it feels like every day is just getting started. But, one of I got asked in an interview the other day, what was my favorite accomplishment this far? And I say getting to open up for amazing artists like Keith Urban and Lady A and all this stuff has been awesome. But getting to do my Opry debut was like the moment that I felt like I was like, wow, I've really done something, and I'm kind of creating something here. And of course, like circling back to my dad, is he never got to do an Opry debut when he was an artist. So for my Opry debut, I brought him on stage to sing with me.
Oh, how cool is that? What song did you sing?
Bless the Broken Road, that he wrote for the Rascal Flatts. And it was really special because he was so emotional that he totally forgot to introduce the song as something he has written. And so I think everybody in the audience thought I was just doing a cover of Bless the Broken Road for my Opry debut, instead of like knowing the special moment that it's like kind of a full circle thing for us.
What a wonderful memory. That is so neat. And what a wonderful tribute to your dad. That's really neat too.
Yeah, it was magical. The whole night was really special. And I don't know if I said this, but I've got to play it 22 times now. And it's just been like, I pinch myself every time I walk in that circle, and it's really special.
That's so cool. I was reading in 2021, you collaborated with Walker Hayes in the song Paying For It. Would you say that that's what really got you rolling?
Yeah, there's been everything is a step in music. So there's things happening, and a lot of actually my biggest touring moments were kind of in the 2019 area before kind of everything shut down in the world. And
Right.
So but I think coming out of the pandemic and 2020 and going into 2021, this was like the kind of like reaffirming myself that, this is something special. And it was, the song itself was immediately special. It's called Paying For It, and I wrote it with Walker and my buddy Eric Arges, who's my producer as well. And we wrote the song we all knew was special. And Walker at that time had not put out the Country Stuff EP yet. So when he was just about to, I think it was like that Friday, he was going to put it out, which had songs with Carly Pierce and Lori McKenna and all these amazing people, and also included the song Fancy Like. And so we wrote the song. He puts out the Country Stuff EP, and he and I agree. It was like, we have to get this song out to the world. And he was like, I can't put it out right now for myself because I just put out this project. But he's like, if you put it out, I will feature on it. And so he ended up featuring on the song, and man, it was just such a blessing having him on it. And it was also fun. It was fun to be a part of the Fancy Like ride for him a little bit, just kind of like, in the passenger seat over in the other car, but it was still amazing.
That's so cool. And you've had tunes like Bottled Up for Me, Good Riddance, and Drink On. All of these are really cool. Um, Good Riddance. What inspired that song? How would you describe that?
Wow. There's so much to that song. Like, it's crazy. I had this title called Good Riddance kind of saved up for a while. And this was like really when I was like really just wanting to experiment sonically with like what I wanted to do and where I was going. And I just remember saying like Green Day has a song called Good Riddance, and it's like this, like it's one of my favorite songs. And I was like, I feel like there's another spin on this title where it's like you're saying just good riddance to the past and all my bad decisions. I ain't ever looking back. I'm just saying good riddance. And I had that like piece ready to go. And I brought it into the writer's room and it just like took a shape of its own. And it was such a cool song. But I didn't really expect anything to come from it. I was like, it's too weird. Nothing's really gonna come from it. I just want to put it out for my fans
Hmm.
and put it out. And on the video where I said, like, this song is out now, I said, I dare you to send this to your ex. And legitimately, the next day I woke up and like 5,000 people had sent it to their ex.
Oh, how
And I was
funny
like,
is
oh,
that?
I was like, oh no. And to this day, I think it's been like 6 months. It's like I think the number is 75,000 people have made videos on TikTok sending it to their ex. And it's been a really big blessing. That song is like quickly turned into one of my biggest songs, and to this day, it's just still rolling.
That speaks volumes. Well, people can relate to it.
I was getting kinda sad, drunk there on the couch. I was drinking about my bad luck and love walking out. When the door swung open, there you stood. My pity party in the corner was through. Good riddance to that lukewarm beer in the kitchen. Good riddance to them sad songs I don't wanna listen. You thought my heart was broke, but turns out it isn't. When a girl like you walks into a room, all you can do is say good riddance to the past. I ain't ever looking back. My buddy hit me, said, get your jaw up off the floor. I went right up to you, said, do you wanna chill on the porch? You said, sure. Damn girl, that conversation, it caught me off guard. Now I'm catching you saying good riddance to that lukewarm beer in the kitchen. Good riddance to them sad songs I don't wanna listen. You thought my heart was broke, but turns out it isn't. When a girl like you walks into a room, all you can do is say good riddance to the past and all my bad decisions. I ain't ever looking back. I'm just saying good riddance, yeah. Good riddance to that lukewarm beer in the kitchen. Good riddance to them sad songs I don't wanna listen. You thought my heart was broke, but turns out it isn't. When a girl like you walks into a room, all you can do is say good riddance. Good riddance. Good riddance to the past and all my bad decisions. I ain't never looking back. I'm just saying good riddance, yeah. Phil Moore and your boys on the track.
TNCRadio.live is proud to carry the Steve Summers Overnight Drive Show. TNCRadio.live is dedicated to commercial drivers. We offer the news, traffic, and weather you need, and the entertainment, sports, talk, music, and celebrity interviews you want to hear 24/7. We have original shows and trucker podcasts that feature some of your favorites, like Ice Road Alex Debogorski and America's Truckin' Sweetheart Marcia Campbell. TNCRadio.live is convenient and designed for professional drivers. The best part is we're free, and you can listen anywhere you are on the road. With just one tap, you can tune into Steve Summers and us right on your phone. Simply download our app by going to app.tncradio.live. That's app.tncradio.live. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm Shelley Johnson, and I'm talking with country singer-songwriter Levi Hummon. We were just listening in our previous segment to Good Riddance. Big hit for Levi. It's been really well received. You know, I think that that's what people are looking for. They're relatable. That song is relatable. And I think that people are looking for that in country music, something that is relatable, something that's fresh. You have a unique sound. As I was reading, you said you like to pretty much use your own voice.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a songwriter first, and come from a family where songwriting is so important. But as I in my early 20s kind of realized, I was like, nobody's going to tell my story better than I can. So I really heavily leaned into the artist side of it. But I haven't released a song that I haven't written. So everything is part of my story, and breakups that I've been through, falling in love that I've been through. My song Wedding Dress is literally about, I was sitting at a wedding, and it says in the chorus, I see the bride, then I look at you, might be the champagne going to my head. If I got down on one knee, would you say yes? I want to see you in a wedding dress. And that whole line was just literally, I wrote it sitting at a wedding next to this person I loved. And yeah, so everything is a story for me.
That's very cool. And I think that's why people really love your music. I mean, you were in high demand last year. You warmed up the stage for Hardy, Jordan Davis, Brett Eldridge, Brett Young, and Dylan Scott. You've been pretty darn busy.
Yes, and the best is yet to come. I actually just signed a new deal with the Jonas Group, which is the Jonas Brothers.
Ooh, cool.
Their dad and Phil Guierny, who used to run Radio Disney. So we've been kind of I've been in the weeds in the trenches right now, digging through some stuff, but we're about to, this year, 2023, and next year is gonna be really special.
Oh, this has got to be so exciting. And you're going to be the headliner this month for the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund Highway to Hope fundraising concert. And that's pretty exciting.
Oh my gosh, yes. We just played the new set last week in Meridian, Mississippi, and I'm so excited to take the show to Knoxville. And yeah, I've got to go play this venue in Knoxville on April 22nd, but I played it before. It's called Cotton Eye Joe, and I played with Fillmore, my buddy Michael Ray. I got to open up for Uncle Cracker there. It's kind of one of my spots that I really love.
Well, what you're doing, participating with St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund, our listeners would truly appreciate that. That nonprofit has done so much for truck drivers and their families. It's just amazing.
It really is. And, I can relate to the lifestyle of traveling and being away from your family. And then also, music is so tough for so many people. It's just, you need that extra support, especially if you get sick or whatever else happens. And so having that St. Christopher's Fund it's just so great. And I'm so honored to support it and very, very excited to be a part of that show.
They're super excited to have you as a headliner too.
Yes. I mean, I also, I've kind of been told by a girl named Lindsay Lawler, who's opening up the show, about how special this event is and how I needed to be a part of the trucking community for so long. And so I'm excited to get ingrained into that and try it out for the first time.
Lindsay's so cool. I've had her on the show. She's a real big supporter of trucking, and it's just so wonderful. The country music world, I think, is super generous, much like the trucking community, believe it or not. So you've got something in common there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, country music is a family, and music is a family. And as you know, with literally my family. So I think it's so important to, especially in country music, use our platform to give back and support causes that are really, really good for every community, whether it's truckers, whether it's St. Jude, whether it's Thistle Farms, which is my mom's organization. It's just also important. And that's what the point of this platform is to make music that's awesome and people love, but then also use your skill set to better people's lives. And that's something that I hold really dear to myself. And I think I get that from my dad, but also my mom's work with being a preacher here in Nashville, Tennessee. And I come by honestly, and I think that everybody in country music has a big heart.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's wonderful what you're doing. Before I forget, I wanted to give a shout out to Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville, Tennessee, where this whole concert's going to be held. The owner of the bar is actually donating not only the venue, but the staff and 100% of all ticket sales. 100% of the proceeds from the entire event will go directly to the St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund. So that's super, super cool. For folks who want to learn more about tickets as well as the location of this great benefit concert, April 22nd, be sure to go to truckersfund.org. Again, that's truckersfund.org. And I wanted to thank you too, Levi. This is terrific that you're going to be at that event. You're helping such a wonderful cause. I wanted to talk a bit more about some of your music because you've got quite a variety here. The song Rent Free, that's a really cool song too. I was wondering if we could talk a little bit about that. What inspired that song?
Yeah, I mean, so I heard like I'm getting older, so I feel like I don't like hear the cooler phrases as much anymore. But like somebody like like a couple years ago was like, "Yo, you live rent free in my head," or "This song lives rent free in my head."
Mm-hmm.
And that phrase, and I was like, that's just such a cool phrase. Like, I feel like if I talked about like kind of a breakup where this girl literally lives rent free at your place, and then all of a sudden is rent free in your head, and like you'll be walking around the house, and it's like it's part of like your just memory of this person. And it turned out so cool, and production wise, it's a really special song.
That's relatable to people. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I do like to say though, like it's funny because you go through stages of life where you're writing about a breakup and then you're happy actually in this new relationship or whatever. So it's just it kind of lives in like this song and a few others kind of live in a time capsule of when I was really, really brokenhearted and kind of writing through that.
It's two bad, 4 miles from downtown ain't cheap. I still get your credit card bills and you got some magazines. I can't afford this view and my bar tab at the same time. Thought you moved out, but you moved into my mind. In my head, the white sheets on my bed, that one stain on the couch. Should've known that I'd never get it out. You're taking up space, empty picture frames that you left in my house. And even if I burn it all down, you find a way to hang around. Opened up all the windows, so why won't your perfume just leave? I still water the garden I built you, even though it's full of weeds. Stuck with the paint on the walls and the long stem glasses I'll never use, just holding on to. That one stain on the couch. Should've known that I'd never get it out. You're taking up space, empty picture frame that you left in my house. And even if I burn it all down, to find a way to hang around. Free in my head, white sheets on my bed, that one stain on the couch. Should've known that I'd never get it out. Taking up space, empty picture frames that you left in my house. And even if I burn it all down, find a way to hang around.
Living rent free. Everybody can pretty much relate to that. There have been people who have been stuck in a lot of people's heads, huh? You're working some things out with that song, I think, too, Levi. The music's kind of a catharsis, isn't it? You can kind of work things through if you're upset. You're essentially what? Making lemonade out of lemons in a lot of ways, too.
And yeah, and literally like the paying for it music video is we were making lemonade, and like it was me and Walker Hayes sitting at a lemonade booth making lemonade.
Okay.
And the kind of joke and like the thought process behind that was like taking something that's just so bad, which is just a broken heart where you're paying for everything and, you know, now you're still paying for it even though she's gone. but kind of like taking that and turning it into something beautiful and funny. And literally, this song is just so quirky. It's all a joke, pretty much.
It's great though. So,
Highly recommend people watch that lyric video because it's actually pretty funny.
uh-huh. Well, people need that. They need something uplifting, especially if they've got a broken heart, if they've got something really awful happening. It's like, this made my day. This made me feel better.
Yeah, as really the reason for that is like I don't like to be sad, and so I
Mhm.
take sad stuff and make it funny or happy or kind of like slide it at the person that did me wrong.
We need more of that. There's been so much bad stuff people keep hearing about, especially since the pandemic. It's like, oh, come on. We need a little bit of sunshine here.
Yeah, I feel like it's just we need the good clickbait.
That's right. Absolutely. We have to go to break here, Levi, to pay some bills, but we're going to be featuring more of your music. Stay tuned to more of the Truckers Network radio show here on tncradio.live with Shelby Johnson. We're featuring Levi Hummon. The Truckers Network helps professional drivers save money and makes their lives easier. We were created for drivers by a commercial driver. We know the industry and driver needs. A Truckers Network membership offers exclusive discounts through our trusted partners on things like truck care, truck parking, tires, oil changes, fuel additives, fitness, roadside assistance, first aid kits, driver training, and a whole lot more. Start saving today. Check us out at app.thetruckersnetwork.net. That's app.thetruckersnetwork.net. Welcome back to the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm your host, Shelby Johnson. I'm talking with country singer-songwriter Levi Hummon, who's really shaken up country music with some great songs. I wanted to feature another one of Levi's songs. This one's a really good one. It's called Bottled Up.
Tell you how I feel. Should probably go ahead and deal with what I'm going through a little better than I've been. But I don't think I've ever shed a tear, 'cause when I'm sad I drink a beer. And if you need me, girl, you know just where I am. I've been bottled up at the bar, trying to help a broken heart just forget why the hell I still love you. Peeling off labels won't bring you back from being gone, but here I am tipping back on this bar stool. Another round ain't enough, missing you bottled up. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Bottled up. I should probably get you off my chest instead of trying to do my best with this corona to pretend I don't still want you. I've been bottled up at the bar, trying to help a broken heart just forget why the hell I still love you. Peeling off labels won't bring you back from being gone, but here I am tipping back on this bar stool. Another round ain't enough, missing you bottled up. Woo! Count. Bottled up and drowning out. Bottled up and pushing down everything I feel about you. I've been bottled up at the bar, trying to help a broken heart just forget why the hell I still love you. Peeling off labels won't bring you back from being gone, but here I am tipping back on this bar stool. Another round ain't enough, missing you bottled up.
Bottled Up. Another great song by Levi Hummon, who's on the show with me today. So what are your plans for the future? Do you have anything? Obviously, you shared some with me here, but anything else that you wanted to tell the listeners?
Yeah, I'm honestly like this is a really interesting phase of my life where I've been working on a lot of new music and a new team, and uh, this year is just about to take off, and I've been doing a lot of the groundwork recently, and it's like the weird thing about music where there's like moments in your life where you can really talk about everything, and there's other moments where you're just like it kills you because you have to keep it close to your chest. So I'm in the close to my chest phase right now, but I am very, very, very excited about the April 22nd show in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm also very excited to go out to Napa Valley. I'm playing the Live in the Vineyard Goes Country with a bunch of amazing artists, including Jimmy Allen, Lauren Elena, Jake Owen, a bunch of other people. And past that, like we have a lot of stuff we're working on. It's going to be very, very cool.
Oh, how exciting. You got to be just, it's hard to contain everything. It's like, pinch me, right?
Yes, it's like it is like one of those things that keeps you up at night in the good way.
Hmm.
And I've never felt more inspired in my life right now, and more rejuvenated by the new team members coming on board and the new sound and my new fans. And I have such an amazing few platforms here on social media that have just been such a blessing in my life and a way to reach out to people that I've never thought would be possible. So it's been growing exponentially, and it's just really a blessing.
That's one thing about the internet. You can reach people all over the world, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And are you in Knoxville, or where are you based out of?
Our station's based out of Houston.
Houston, Texas. Love that.
Mhm. Yeah. And Texas loves country music, no doubt about it.
I actually had to go to Houston recently because on the time when all the Southwest flights were canceled,
Hmm.
I had to drive from Nashville to Houston to catch a flight to Belize. And so that
Oh my.
was my last time in Houston. But no, it's awesome. I am definitely going to be down in Texas later this year for sure.
Excellent. Where do people find you, Levi? Where can people find your music, buy your music, all of that?
Yes, everything is at Levi Hummon, Levihummon. It's pretty easy, and it's on every platform you can possibly imagine. So check it out. We have so much new music coming soon, and I could not be more excited about this April 22nd show with Lindsay and Dave Nemo, and I will see you guys in Knoxville.
Excellent. I know everybody's really looking forward to that concert. And if people haven't heard you, they're going to say, I want to hear more.
Let's hope, or they're going to do the other thing, run away.
Well, you're not going to please everybody, but I think that you've got a unique style and likability that people can grab onto. And your themes are relatable. That works so very well. Of course, country music, I think, is better at that. Uh, Talking about relatable things. This is life, you know.
Right.
My truck got repoed, my wife left me, and my dog ran away. And people
Seems
can
like
say, yeah.
Yeah, that's my goal. And as people realize at the show, if you guys make it there or any show of mine, I always literally beeline for the merch table right after, and I always try to meet as many people as possible. And I've never steered away from that unless I have another place to be. So my main thing that I love to do on the road is just meet people, and I think genuine relationships are so important to me. And while we're constantly living in this virtual world, which is just so online and so disconnected, I feel like what the beautiful thing about live shows is the connectivity, and something that I just absolutely love.
That's wonderful. And that's something that people can really appreciate about you. Giving back and actually reaching out to the people who are listening to your music. That's terrific.
Absolutely. Well, it's a pleasure to have them listening.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show here. I really appreciate it, Levi.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see you down in Houston someday.
That sounds terrific. I'm going to be featuring another one of your songs, Levi, but before I do that, I wanted to mention to our listeners to be sure to attend the second annual Highway to Hope benefit concert for St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund. Levi Hummon is the headliner. Country singer-songwriter Lindsay Lawler will also be there with Dave Nemo of Radio Nemo. The fundraiser is Saturday, April 22nd at the Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville, Tennessee. 100% of the proceeds go to St. Christopher. VIP tickets for the VIP pre-show concert with Lindsay Lawler and Dave Nemo are at Highway to Hope VIP at the Cotton Eye for $99. And the password is HOPE. The VIP pre-show concert is from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and the VIP ticket includes food, 2 drink tickets, the private concert, and the main concert. Tickets for the main concert at the Cotton Eye Joe in Knoxville are available for $20 in advance at Highway to Hope at the Cotton-Eyed Joe. They're $25 at the door. We'd love to see you there. Great concert, great benefit, great cause. This is the Truckers Network radio show on tncradio.live. I'm your host, Shelley Johnson. Now let's listen to another one of Levi's songs. This one's called RSVP, featuring Cassidy Pope.
There's cars in the front yard, red cups in the pool, and strangers I just met, passed out on my couch in the living room. The record's still skipping, the sun's almost here. Was one for the ages, yeah, I'd still be saying cheers. But the champagne's all gone, carpet's full of confetti. The cops came and we rocked on. I was the life of the party, but I don't feel that cool. Everyone showed up but you.
I saw the invite, but was too scared to see you slow dancing, your hands moving on to somebody who's taller and blonder than me. I kinda regret it, not stopping by, but I didn't know if you'd want me to walk in and mess up the time of your life. And now
champagne's all gone, carpet's full of confetti. The cops came and we rocked on. I was the life of the party, but I don't feel that cool. Everyone showed up but you. Yeah, everyone showed up but you. Last one out the front door. Guess I know what that means. This party is over, and you're really over me. The champagne's all gone, carpet's full of confetti. Cops came and we rocked on. I was the life of the party, but I don't feel that cool. I'm just not that cool. Everyone showed up but you. Wish nobody showed up but you. Everyone showed up but you.
Thank you for listening to another great interview on tncradio.live and the Truckers Network radio show. All of the material you hear on tncradio.live on our website, our broadcasts, or our podcasts are copyrighted. There can be no distribution without the express consent of tncradio.live and its partners. For inquiries, write us at info@tncradio.live. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast of the Truckers Network radio show.
I hope you all enjoyed that interview as much as I did. Thank you, Shelley, and the TNC Radio family for your continued support of St. Christopher Fund and for talking to Levi. We are so excited to have this new and rising artist be a part of our special event. There is still time. It's Tuesday evening, April 18th, and this event is Saturday, April 22nd in Knoxville, Tennessee. There's still time for you to get there. There are still tickets available. You can go to truckersfund.org and get your tickets there. Or you can hop over to the Cotton-Eyed Joe website in Knoxville, Tennessee, and purchase your tickets there. We would love for you to purchase the VIP ticket and join us for the early event and have some food and drinks with us and artist meet and greets and honoring Dr. John. Those tickets are $99. We also have general admission tickets that are when the venue opens at 6 o'clock. Those are $20 in advance, $25 at the door. Or if you would just like to make a donation to support the St. Christopher Fund, you can do that at truckersfund.org as well. So thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Levi. Thank you, everyone, for supporting St. Christopher Fund and what we do. We are able to help drivers because of the generosity of other people. We facilitate those funds, get them to the people that need them. So, thank you for 15 years of hope at St. Christopher Fund, and thank you for joining me tonight on the Southern Route. I'm your host, Shannon Courier, and we'll be back next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern here on TNC Radio Live.